If you've ever tried to see how far you can get in Bloons TD6, you've probably used one of these guys to farm and set up a defense, so you could then fry eggs on your computer. But I tried to get as far as possible without using farms, aka any farming method, and probably get the same cooking experience. First I have to pick a map, which is crucial for these kind of challenges. I picked Cubism, because I like the art style, and using my absolutely ginormous brain, I picked the best hero I could think of. I picked Churchill because, it wasn't even close. He's got a tank. Would I, a mortal soul, pick a discount Voldemort with unseen powers of destruction? Oh no, I'm with the military on this one. I started off with my free pro darts player. And why does Churchill cost $1,500? They do cost millions of dollars in real life, but we're not gonna talk about that. Because inflation is upon us. I was eventually able to afford him. Because, as we all know, money isn't the problem. It's the way you get it. Speaking of which, the way you get money in Bloons TD6 is kind of strange. You get $1 for each layer popped, which means that one red balloon equates to $1 in value, a blue balloon is $2, a green balloon is $3, etc. While I was explaining this to you, a camouflage balloon had appeared. Luckily, I was able to act fast and submerge my submarine, so it could decamouflage the balloon, and my pro darts player could pop it. At this point, I was getting close to mid-game, and I had to come up with a strategy. And for my strategy, I needed high damage dealers that I can afford at a low cost because I'm not able to farm, so I took a quick brainstorming session. And after about 30 seconds of brainstorming, I came up with an idea. Submarine spam. Yeah, it was like the only thing that came into my mind. Plus, the Submarine Paragon just released, and maybe if I could get enough money, I could buy it. Oh no, it cost $340,000. But I didn't give up. I used villages that give you discounts on upgrades, so I could save more money. The next thing on my list was to put down as much submarines as possible. I could have probably squeezed in like 2 more submarines, but who even cares at this point? Because my fleet is so massive, the balloons will perish the second they see it. There's just one problem. If I want to deal a lot of damage, I have to upgrade my submarines. And that costs money. So I spent around 60 through 80 just upgrading those submarines. And I wasn't even done. The balloons were also getting stronger with each round. And I had to use debuff towers. For example, this glue gunner that I put down. In like 10 more minutes of gameplay, I was finally able to upgrade all the submarines. Now I have the power. On round 100, this big purple blob came out on the screen. And I was pretty scared because it's like the strongest balloon in this game. Well, that was pretty fast. I was now entering late game. At this point, pro players would still be farming because 100 rounds is not enough. You have to farm over $7 billion before you actually start putting down your defense. At this point, I was looking kind of good. The balloons were getting absolutely shredded. So I'm going to save up for the Nautic Siege Core. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it the Submarine Paragon. Okay, it's round 120, and I've only got like $30,000 in the last 20 rounds. God, this is why they use farms. I was getting so little amounts of money that after round 140, I decided to spend it all. But on what? What tower is so strong? I could spend $85,000 on it. Wait, I know something. I picked the Permaspike, it's a no-brainer. But I still had $50,000 left. And with that money, I almost doubled my damage by buying the Permabrew, and it can't reach Churchill. I am so happy. The DDTs were scaring me, yet I was still able to defend quite nicely. I was still thinking of what I can do with the money that I'm gonna build up in the next few rounds, even though it's not gonna be much. Oh no, these 2 BADs are getting kind of far. I'm using all of my abilities, they're all on cooldown. Luckily, I was able to beat that round. From here on out, I couldn't leave the game. I always had to pay attention and use the abilities at the right moments. My only 2 enemies were the BADs and the hordes of DDTs that spawn on random rounds. I also couldn't buy anything new. It would just be a waste of money. So I could only upgrade the towers I already had. With a few more rounds passing by, I was finally able to afford a game-changing upgrade, something that's gonna increase my damage by a lot. I got the Call to Arms ability. This makes all my monkeys shoot 50% faster, which automatically makes the damage 1.5 times higher. This game-changing ability made me last like 5 more rounds. Yeah, it's not really game-changing in the late game. At this point, I knew I wasn't gonna last long, so I sat there carefully, pressing my abilities. And I got to round 159. Oh no, that BAD is gaining kinda far. So I panicked and bought an embrittlement. And I have no idea what it does, I just know that it increases the damage balloons take. But then, disaster. Round 171. 4 BADs and a ton of reinforced DDTs. I was able to handle the DDTs, but the BADs were just too much. 2 of them just passed like a third of the map, and they're not even showing any signs of damage. I was actually able to pop one of them, and then the second one a little later. Is it actually possible that I'm going to beat this round? Nope, the remains of the last BAD absolutely destroyed my defense. So this is how far I could get without using farms in BTD6. Could I have gotten a little further? Of course, but I could have also gotten less further. You see, in BTD6, almost all the rounds after round 100 are random, and you have no control over 10 BADs spawning and just 30 ZOMGs, which is a lot easier. And why don't you try this challenge for yourself? Maybe you will be able to afford a Paragon, which can take you far beyond round 200. And now, I have to go work on my next video. Bye! What if I used Admiral Brickle to buff all my submarines?